This thing going on, man. Yeah, sure.
All right, one of your favorite fighters, probably your favorite fighter, Errol Spence. He's staying in shape, coming back to shape, trying to get back to where he was. He's in tremendous shape. ESPN still have writers. They have Danny beating him. What do you think about that?
ESPN, I think they're basing things on Errol Spence coming off a car crash, right? But I think he's going to be better than ever. I really was wearing
because it's true, you know, you can come back from certain situations like this, but there's been history where things like this can affect your game.
Right. I mean, there's been fighters in history. There's been fighters in history that actually, you know, like this guy, he survived in a miracle way. Let's not forget.
Oh, yeah.
Errol Spence flew out of the car. He got ejected out of the vehicle and dived head first. I mean, I dive into the pool and I go in head first. Sometimes the water splash my face and that shit hurt.
And when
Excuse
you see
my language.
When you see the car, and like if you don't know nothing about the story, you see the car, you're like, this dude must have been it's over.
Right. And he got ejected out of the vehicle. I mean, I seen the footage. The car was flipping and stuff, and he got ejected out of the vehicle, busted his head on concrete. And for him to survive that, he got to be blessed. But it also let me know this man is chosen. His nickname is the Truth.
Yeah.
So he's here for a reason, not a short season. So I know Allah has better plans for him than coming back to the sport and just lose.
Yeah.
I mean, I look at things when it comes to life, you know, people are here for a purpose, and Errol Spence has a purpose. It's up to him to realize what his purpose is. And he realized that, hey, I'm going to take advantage of my gift, and I'm not going to let the outside life distract me, because like I said, we were talking about Mike Tyson earlier, how he lost that person in the mirror. You could have went down as one of the best, but Errol was falling in that wrong track a little bit, hanging out with the wrong crowd, started doing the wrong things. And there's nothing wrong with that, because you know why? Once you get fame, you know, you're talking about a guy that got it out of the mud. So he never had this type of luxury. And he had time, money, and fame on his head is all, you know, it's going to happen.
With that in mind, do you think, knowing he works hard and his competitiveness and his confidence, you think this incident probably weakens his confidence in a way?
The question mark next to my chin. Yeah. I think he will find that out.
It's going to make him want to work harder, but at the same time, it's mentally, it's probably draining.
Yeah, well, at one point, Errol did say, man, this shit hurt. I don't know if I could ever box again. That's what he said.
After the
car accident. So it's good to see him in a mental state where he's saying that he's 100% better, but he haven't sparred yet when he made them comments. You will never know till you actually spar and get hit. So
you won't really know until you get in the ring, actually.
Yeah, get in the ring, because there's no headgear and it's smaller gloves. So like you said, once he get in the ring, he's surely going to find that out. But I think Errol Spence, it will make him better, because I must emphasize on this point. When I say he was falling to the wrong path, I really mean it. The man was gaining a lot of weight in between fights, like 40, 50 pounds, which is not good for a fighter that's losing that much weight. You can't even take a body shot. You can't even take a headshot. So I don't even know how he did it. Performing the way he did is impressive. On top of that, Errol Spence didn't just come back to the game and beat the best while dealing with outside life and distractions and weight loss and all that. Now you got to keep in mind, man, focus Errol. What is he going to look like? I know we're talking about the car accident, which is the big question mark.
Yeah.
But we also got to talk about the positive, which is Errol Spence is training harder than ever. He's keeping his weight down. Errol Spence is also, you know, he's mentally sharper, because he's realizing, hey, I got a vision. I got to stay on the tunnel vision. I'm not going to let the outside life distract me. So because of that, I think he will have a better performance than people expected.
With, you know, Danny Garcia, I think his last fight, well, who was it against?
The
one he
Red
lost
Catch.
the
Sean Porter. He already had a fight after Red Catch. Red Catch.
Errol Spence fought Sean Porter.
That
fight was closer than what people thought. Now, Sean Porter beat Danny Garcia, but that fight was also close. How do you think it's going to be?
Yeah, well,
being Errol Spence, I'm talking you as Errol Spence. Going into
from his
fight.
perspective, like his take, he's like, man, you know what? This dude can't beat me on my worst day. You know what I mean? I just got to be me, and I just got to fight my fight. And I think the way he's thinking about it, one of his best friends is Lamont Pearson. The way he fought Danny Garcia, he gave the blueprint of how to beat Danny Garcia. Boxed early, the way he did with Mikey, then turn it up later and go to the body, which Errol Spence go to the body first, then head second. You got to keep in mind a fighter like Errol Spence and a fighter like Danny Garcia. Danny likes to counterpunch. He has tremendous timing, tremendous chin, good power. Errol Spence got great power, speed, fundamentally sound. He could box. He could do it all. Now, the thing about Errol Spence that I think will give him the edge, because Errol could fight Danny. He could touch him up, but he also, the way he varies his offense, he's so hard to read. He will throw a jab. That's 2 jabs, triple jab, quadruple jab, 5 jabs. And then he will go to the body. He will vary his offense. He will throw an uppercut. He will throw a hook. That type of variation, throwing jabs first, is hard to counter that.
So you think he's going to go distance?
I think it will go to distance, but Errol has a high chance of knocking out.
But he might not want to, probably because of the first fight ever since that accident. Probably would just,
Yeah, he might want to cruise it. He might not cruise it. Errol will make a huge mistake if he chooses to take risks at this point. He will make not knowing how he is. You got to realize, hey, I'm gonna go in there. I'm gonna get the W. That's my main objective. After that, if I'm seeing Danny Garcia hurt, then I'm gonna turn it up on him. But like I said, I'm not worried about none of that. I just love the fact that he's focused. I love the fact that he's determined.
I think ESPN
is highly biased. I think ESPN. I don't know who like these writers that made these comments, but see,
you don't think they have a point?
I mean, the car accident is a huge question mark. Yeah. I do give them that. That's the only break they have. But, I mean, I don't know. Like Teddy Atlas, for example, he's highly critical of Errol. Like, he says Lomachenko is pound for pound #1, right?
Yeah.
And then he says Errol Spence is a top 10 pound for pound fighter, or top 5, matter of fact. He gave Errol Spence credit from day one, but he had a Cuban flag next to his name. I think they mistaked Errol Spence with Regan Diaz. They really wanted to put Regan Diaz at the time because he was about to fight Lomachenko, moving up like 2-3 weight divisions. So they want to give Lomachenko his props. Now, the only issue, for example, Teddy works for ESPN, or he used to at least, and I think he still works with ESPN, just he's not part of the podcast because sometimes he be going too crazy. So Teddy, man, this man said Lomachenko pound for pound #1. Lomachenko fought Luke Campbell. You got to keep in mind, Luke Campbell is not even a top 5 at his own division. He's nowhere near one of the best in the sport of boxing. No disrespect to Luke Campbell. Lomachenko struggles in the fight. He comes out after the fight, says Luke Campbell hurt me more than once. He has so much to say about Luke Campbell that it was an eye-opener. Like, man, this man struggled against Luke Campbell. He said that was my toughest fight till this day. You know what I mean? So he made all those type of comments. So you will kind of raise the question, like, damn, what Teddy Atlas think about it? The way Teddy talked about it, he made it seem like Lomachenko walked right through him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
When Lomachenko said that's my toughest fight yet, then when he talked about Errol Spence versus Sean Porter, one of the best fighters in the game. Sean Porter arguably got the best resume in the game today. People want to say Canelo Alvarez is pound for pound #1 because he got the best resume. So does that mean Sean Porter the best in the game because he got the best resume?
Exactly.
Because his resume better than Canelo Alvarez. We're talking about, I'm telling you, name you fighters that he just beat, or he fought. Keith Thurman, Ugas, Errol Spence, Danny Garcia, Alexander. And like I said, the list just goes on and on. Kell Brook, and he performs in these fights. So what does Teddy Atlas say? He said that he even went as far as saying he thought it was a robbery. Like, what? Man, Errol beat him 8 rounds to 4 and dropped him. But it's just let you know.
Between who? Errol?
Sean Porter and Errol Spence. The ESPN is very biased because PBC is their competitor. So they don't want to give the competitor their credit. And also the car accident, I'll give him a break with that.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. They might have a point with that one. I don't blame them for thinking that. But moving on to the
next round.
6th round.
Ladies and gentlemen, pieces of blessings upon all my AKHis and all my sisters out there. Welcome to Boxing Hood episode 1. And with me today, I have a very, very special guest. He was my guest on Split Decision, the first one. Now as an interim champion, he's making his return on Boxing Hood first episode. So I truly appreciate David Morrell Jr. I have him with me on the line. David Morrell obviously had a fight on PBC on a successful card because they did 1.3 million views on PBC. Obviously, PBC is the UFC of boxing. David Morrell is a Cuban sensation, one of the best Cuban fighters. He defected to the United States, and now he's fighting under PBC. David Morrell fought Lennox Allen, who was 22-0, undefeated for the WBA interim title, and made history with only 3 fights. He's 3-0 with a WBA interim title. So congratulations, champion, for making history with only 2 fights and now 3-0 as a champion. How you feel?
No, I'm good, man.
Hold it, you're not that pretty. I'm a bad man. Wait. I took up the wall. I took up the wall. I took up the wall.
I bear witness, there's only one God, Allah, and Muhammad is his final messenger. That's what I said, Larry, on the Bungle fight. Thanking you.
They call me the problem, but you could call me the can man, because anybody can get it. Africans, Americans, Dominicans, Mexicans, anybody can get it.